Seated up high enough? Y'all good?
I think so. I feel like I'm just missing my teleprompter with the words, and that's about it.
Okay. We'll try to get some of the words going. We've, of course, got Danica Patrick in visiting with us, driver of the number 7 GoDaddy.com Chevrolet in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, coming back from a couple weeks off, 17th in points. This is your first spring race here. You've run the last couple of the fall events, and the last time that you were here last November, P11. Had a couple podium finishes in IndyCar and 5 top 10s, I believe, overall. So Texas, a very good track for you, and in the Nationwide Series as well. So a couple weeks off, ready to get back at it at a good track.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while, hasn't it? Doesn't it? My gosh. And then I guess essentially we have 4 weekends off in a row because we're done on Friday, and then we have next weekend off. So it's easy breezy April. But I've always enjoyed coming to Texas. I always feel like not only is there great crowds and a lot of excitement, and I feel like just a great atmosphere, but I like the track. I think I tend to perform well on the really banked tracks, and this is one of them. So yeah, I've enjoyed coming here from the first time that I was in an Indy car to the first time that I was in a stock car. So I'm glad to come back. I feel like I remember last year, maybe this was the first one I missed last year after I had to leave for IndyCar, and I found myself really wishing I could be out here. So now I am, and hopefully it'll be a good weekend for us.
All right, we have questions for Danica. Erica's got the wireless mic. Please raise your hand for us, and she'll bring it to you and give us your name and affiliation before you start. We'll start off with Pocky.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Have you during the 2 weeks off? Was it a kind of, all right? Do you feel like refreshed and ready to go, or have you spent 2 weeks brooding over kind of the California finish?
No, I was able to give myself plenty of distractions over the last couple of weeks. Came home from California, and the next day was my birthday, so had a party, and it's kind of been like the never-ending birthday party. The next weekend went to Cabo, and then the weekend after that, last weekend, we went to Northern California. So I've had a pretty nice time, I have to say. It's been nice. I've lost a little bit of my suntan, but I think I generated a pretty good suntan over the last couple of weeks. So I am ready to get back at it, though. I feel like too long a breaks kind of gets you out of the rhythm. So, but I think given the sort of the stretch that was from, the week or so before Daytona through California was a big push to start it off, especially with Daytona. So I think the 2 weeks was a welcome break, and I always feel like breaks are something that gets me sort of excited to get back at it again, and I think that's what it's done.
Hi, Janine Cloud with Skirts and Scuffs, and I understand you're going to be running in the Prelude, and excited to see that. Was wondering if you have any plans to try to get on the dirt before then.
Yes, I'm running the Prelude. I don't know. We don't have any plans right now to run anything to practice for that. But I'm open to it. I think if it fits in the schedule, it would probably behoove me if I got out there and got a few laps of getting comfortable. But if I don't, at the end of the day, it's meant to be a fun race and for charity, and either way, I'm sure it'll be exciting. Whether myself or anybody else has a good or bad weekend, I'm sure we'll all laugh a lot, as it's obviously not part of a championship. It's part of a charity event.
Other questions for Danica? Got Woody over here. I'm wondering if you're Northern
I think that's the first time that I've fit behoove into a sentence.
It may be. We had Nostradamus before with Dale Jr.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I watch a lot of his stuff on the History Channel.
Excellent.
Yeah. I'm pretty proud of myself right now about that whole word, behoove.
Woody came with MRN. Speaking of Dale, Danica, a couple of weeks ago, I'm over here to your right. After that drifting deal out at Charlotte, Dale was talking pretty good about you and your experiences so far, and how he was hoping that you could just relax and have fun with it and not put so much pressure on yourself. Do you feel that too? And or is that something
That's pretty darn good advice coming from Dale. That's good.
Is that something that you're
I mean,
conscious
just
of?
because he can, he's obviously always in a pressure situation as I'm in here listening to, him getting asked when the weekend is that he's going to win. I can understand what it's like, or somewhat what it's like. But I think that's true. I just think that's good advice. I think that when I would come and do the races over the last couple of years, it's not like there was no pressure, but I was on such a learning curve that there was going to be good weekends, there was going to be bad weekends, and at the end of the day, it wasn't for a sole championship as one driver. So, it was a little less pressure for sure. So now coming into this year, knowing that it's for points, knowing that it's to, really try and take it to the next level, I do think that I probably put more pressure on myself, and I think that's great advice to relax, and I'm gonna do that this weekend. I'm just gonna have fun with it and do the best I can, and forget the rest, and take some chances and have a good time with it. Just try and be a little bit more like I was the last couple of years when I came around. But I suppose it's only natural. I'm running for the championship, so that pressure I think got to me a little bit. But it's what matters is having a good time, and what matters is having good races, and you don't do that by putting tons of pressure on yourself. So, thanks, Dale. I'd say the same.
Go ahead, Bob.
You talked about your 2-week kind of birthday celebration. Did you need 2 weeks because you were turning 30? I mean, was that a big deal to you at all?
Careful.
I'm okay with 30. I really am. Most of the people around me are older, so I'll always be the youngest there. So I feel pretty good about that. It was quite nice how it happened, though. I really did have 3 birthday party weekends, because last weekend there was a surprise party for me, and it was 2 weeks after my birthday. So, between all 3 of them, I'm kind of, by the end of it, on Easter, when people were wishing me happy birthday, I was like, it's done. It's over. No, it's time to move on. April has come. Easter's here. It's somebody else's rebirth day.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service back here. David Reutimann took a lot of grief for trying to stay on the track to keep the 10 car in the top 35 and 100 points at Martinsville. Do you have empathy with his situation in that regard? And is there a backup plan for you for Darlington if the car is out of the top 35 at that point?
I feel pretty confident that the car and Tommy Baldwin and David are going to get it in the top 35. They're a great group, and they're working really hard. And we haven't talked about a backup plan, but there's always that backup plan that if you have to qualify, that's what you do.
Good.
Danica, what are your overall thoughts on racing at night?
I think night racing's a lot of fun. I don't know about you guys. I don't really know what your schedule's like, but I get to sleep in. It's pretty great. Although we do have 10 a.m. practice tomorrow, but I did get to fly in today, so that's kind of nice. It's a one night overnight. So I think it makes the cars look really cool. I think that it's a good night out for people at the racetrack, and I just think it makes our cars look really cool. So, it's a visual sport, and there's lots of fans watching. So the better it looks, the better it is, I think.
Seth Livingstone, USA Today, Danica. So we're here in Texas. Just wondering if you ever had the urge to go barrel racing or do any rodeo activities. You ever want to just go out and hog tie something?
Hog tie?
Well, I don't know. I think that's what they do down here.
I've never heard of hog tie. I can't say that's ever entered my mind, but
Well,
I'm going to be interested. I'm going to at least want to know what it is.
Let's stick to the barrel racing. I mean,
Barrel racing, is that where you climb into a barrel and you roll down a hill? No?
No.
No? Do you run on the barrel?
That would be on the horseback riding.
Well, there you go.
You
So
race
you
around
can
the
tell
barrel.
I haven't really thought much about those things because I don't know much about them. I feel like I'd be killed if I tried to jump onto back of anything like that. I think I'll stick to the racing here. There's a great enough crowd and a great fan base of race fans that I think I'll stick to that.
Ever ride a horse?
I got on a horse one time when I was like 4 or something, or 4 or 5, and it was up north in Canada, where my mom's family lives, and it was the winter, and my mom went to go take a picture, and I don't know if she had the flash directed at the horse's eye, but it bucked me off, and that was the last time I was on a horse. I did see horseback riding in Cabo on the beach, though, and I was interested, but the book and the beach seemed a lot better than that. The book, the beach, the laying out piece. So, no, there's not a lot of interest in horses, although they're beautiful animals. It's amazing how big they are and kind of how small their legs look and what they're capable of. I just get sad that they have to get put down when their leg breaks.
Other questions for Danica?
Such compelling stuff.
I know.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I told you, Carrie. Danica knows who Ron Burgundy is. Go ahead, Mike Mulholland.
Who's
over
excited about Anchorman 2? Can I get a hand?
Mike Muller, MikeMuller.net. You're probably the perfect person to ask about this because you drive very fast or have driven very fast in IndyCars, faster than these guys. For about 20 years, we've been asking why these speeds in NASCAR keep getting higher and higher. And we just had Matt Kenseth up there at Michigan at 215 and maybe going 220 at Pocono. That's pretty fast. I mean, even in an IndyCar, that would be pretty fast.
Yeah.
What is it about a driver that they just refuse to talk about speed other than, oh, yeah, the faster we go, the better it is? I mean, is it a macho thing, or is it like you really don't care about speed as long as there's grip?
Well, I don't know if I'm playing into the gender of what you just said based on the fact that you said a macho thing, but I don't really care. I just care that I'm faster than everyone else. So speed has never been something that's driven me to, that's excited me about the sport or been something that that I got into racing because of. I got into it because I like the challenge and setting a goal and attaining it, and so speed doesn't have anything to do with it. So if we were all going 180, we'd all be going 180. If we're all doing 220, let's all do 220, but you don't want to be one or the other on the track at the same time. So speed doesn't really matter to me.
Got time for one more if anyone has something. All right. Danica, thanks. Appreciate it. Good luck this weekend.
Have a good weekend.